Hello everyone. I'm Susie Ramroop. Everybody watching this right now will know who I am. And I'm doing this in response to a couple of conversations I've had recently where my friends are a little bit confused by what it is I actually do all day. And that worries me, not just because I want my friends to have an idea of what I do, but also I want my friends to spot their friends that might be potential partnerships for me. So let me just tell you a little bit while I'm waiting for people to join about Facebook Live. Now I know many of you are experienced in Facebook Live. Many of you have never used or experienced Facebook Live, so I'm just going to spend 1 minute explaining what it is. So it is literally a live broadcast. Most of you are used to seeing me on video, but this is a live broadcast where it's streaming to hopefully a great number of people. Now what happens as soon as I go live is Facebook starts to notify everyone in my network. So if you like this business page at Susie Ramroop Coach, you will be notified immediately when I've gone live. And that's really good because even if you started, you can watch me. And what's really great to do with a Facebook Live, because it's fairly nerve-wracking, is to say hello. So Facebook Live etiquette is join and say, "Hi Susie," it's whatever your name is. And if I haven't met you yet, just say where you're coming in from. Now, this is taking place on a mobile phone. I will be notified when people join. I'll probably squint to try and read any comments, but that's okay. Your comments are not anything to be worried about. They are purely for me and you. So it's like a private conversation that happens to be being broadcasted. And I would welcome any questions that you want me to ask or support you with. And when I tell you a bit more about who I am and what I do, hopefully those questions will be directly relevant to my profession. Otherwise, you're probably on the wrong Facebook Live. So etiquette is to say hello when you join, and if you like what I'm saying, there is a thumbs up in the bottom right hand corner that you can hit. And even better, us Facebook Livers love a few hearts. You can hit them as many times as you like, they'll fly across the screen, but what that will do is it will keep me motivated to talk to you without having to scroll through and read on my tiny screen, which is like, you know, this big from here to there. So do that. I'd really appreciate that. The other thing you can do, so they're your reactive buttons. The other thing you can do, which is proactive, is share. And this is really, I'll be completely honest, this is really why I want you to watch my Facebook Lives, because I've got a lot of valuable content to give. The more engagement I get, the more relevant the questions will be to you. And the answers will be to you, and the more that you will be able to identify people that it can help, and that's really what I'm here to do. So my mission is to transform people's lives. I work with people currently only privately to do that. So I have a one-to-one relationship, and I do that over Skype and the phone. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, provided it fits my lifestyle and my time zone. And many people really just kind of, you know, they know what a life coach is, they know what the word transformation means, kind of, but it's a bit subjective, it can be different for everyone. But I just want to tell you a bit about my life and why I am doing what I'm doing. So all through my 20s, for as long as I can remember, I was unhappy. I was constantly searching for answers and looking for the thing that was going to make me happy in life. And, you know, whilst I was searching for answers, I didn't really pose any questions. I didn't really challenge anything because I was living my whole life based on expectations. So, you know, it was kind of expected that I would go to university because my brother had gone to university. So I went to university. I picked a subject that, you know, I thought looked interesting, but I didn't really have any direction. I didn't have my heart set on a career. I was just kind of going, oh, okay, I've got to go to university. Right, well, if I go to university then. And I worked fairly hard and I got a reasonable degree, but I just, you know, I never had that clarity about what it is I wanted. So I just kind of kept moving and going through the motions. And I'm a highly capable individual, as many of you will know. So, you know, when I apply myself and I go through my motions and someone else is directing where that motion should be applied, I can be highly effective. So, you know, I got to an extremely senior position by the age of 26. I was flying around the world doing business in a very male-dominated world, which I found scary, intimidating, but I never let that show for 1 minute. I remember really clearly this one meeting I went to in Amsterdam, and it was full of, this was at a telecoms company, full of really, really technical people who seemed to have one objective, which was to take me down. You know, they didn't tolerate women. They didn't tolerate marketing people, which they judged as salespeople. And if you weren't a techie and you weren't a man, then you were stuffed, basically. And, you know, I couldn't communicate. I couldn't talk in their language. And I remember coming home on the plane in tears, just crying in business class, because I thought, I'm working really hard. I spent hours and hours on that presentation and I gave it and they didn't care. And how can it be possible that I'm working this hard and no one cares? And really, you know, I didn't even plan to say this. This is just what's coming out of my mouth, because right now I just thought, oh my God, yeah, that's the point at which I thought, how can I be killing myself and yet get no results? And really, that is how many, many people that I work with feel. You know, they're working all the hours God sends and they get home and they get 10 minutes with their children, if they make bedtime at all. You know, their weekends are just chewed up, planned for them. Their social lives are, you know, non-stop. Tickets are booked, restaurants are booked, they're out all the time. And to the outside world, that looks like a great life. You know, I had that life. I was flying around, I was going straight from the airport to a restaurant or a leaving do or a party. My weekends, I was always flying off somewhere glamorous. And really, in summary, I will use one word to describe what I was doing. Running. I was running away from my unhappiness because I daren't sit still and be silent and think to myself, what do I actually want? Because it never occurred to me to ask that question. So those answers that I was looking for, really the question was, what do you want, Susie? And actually the question was, what do you want, Susie? Because I had been working hard to please my teachers and then my parents and then my boss and then the people on the board and every time I plotted an exit plan, that exit plan involved more of the same, but on some higher scale somehow. So, you know, a bigger job with more reporting to the board and more relationships that I had to forge. Now, that all sounds really fake and empty. And let me tell you, that's how it felt, because I wasn't being me. So when I was 26 and a director, I was thinking, right, how do directors behave? How must I be? I didn't think that being me was okay. I thought I had to be a different way. And I am not the only person that feels this way. So this is the kind of time you would hit a thumbs up or a like or share this with someone who is in a job running themselves ragged going, why am I doing this? Or then maybe they're afraid to ask, why are they doing this? And this could be the day that they think, oh, I don't have to. Now, the reason we do it is because we want to please people, and the payoff for pleasing people is approval. And when approval doesn't come, we get resentful. We think, well, why don't they approve of me? Why don't they like me? Look at all the things I've done for them. And, you know, I did all those things because of my ego and my belief system and what I thought those people would want. And I was more concerned with them and their happiness than I was with me and mine. Even though I thought that's what I was seeking, I was actually too afraid to seek it. Now, my breaking point came where I took a contract with a very glamorous job title, and I did it against my original plans of taking the summer off with my daughter, who is now 5. She was 3 at the time. And, you know, all this time where I've been practicing coaching, which I've done for over a decade, I really didn't apply it to myself. I really wasn't living that life because I was in fear, entrenched in fear. So because I was in this fearful, I'm inadequate, I need to prove myself space, any opportunity to prove to people that I was good enough, i.e. via my CV, I took it, I jumped at it. So I had this really sexy job title, really supposedly sexy organisation, and it ticked a lot of boxes. It was going to make my CV look great. And one of my friends said to me, "Why are you doing it?" And I went, "Well, because of the CV and the prospects and the da-da-da-da-da-da." And she said, "Yeah, but why?" And I thought, wow, that's actually a really great question. However, at the time, I was terrified to acknowledge it because I knew what the answer was. And it took me 6 very long weeks in that job to say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. It made me sick every single day. I cried every day. I came home and I looked at my child's face and thought, I'm spending all day there, giving up my time here when she's on summer holidays. What am I doing? And I stopped. I quit. I thought, no, this is enough. My husband and I weren't getting on. And I just thought, no, nothing is worth me losing a relationship with my husband, losing a relationship with my child, and more importantly, losing a relationship with myself. And I saw an opportunity there to just finally get honest and finally work out what I wanted. And since then, I haven't looked back. As tough as things have been in growing a new business, never, ever have I thought, maybe I'll just go and get a job. Never, never, ever, ever. And the irony is that the pain that I welcomed in all those years to build my CV and grow my profile, it was pointless because I don't even, the CV is irrelevant now. I mean, I go onto LinkedIn and I think I could just delete this whole thing because it's completely irrelevant. What's relevant is my feelings throughout that experience and, really, how have I grown as a person and where's the pain that I've had in my life? And that's what I'm bringing now to my clients. So typically they fit into a couple of boxes. The first box is the place that I was in, where they're thinking, why am I doing this? They don't have to have children. Some people do, but maybe they're in their own business and they're thinking, I set this up so I could be free. And yet when someone asks me for coffee, I feel like I can't say yes because I feel like I ought to be working on and in my business. And it's that ought to, that feeling of should, that got us there in the first place. So I work with people to release that, to get connected to the joy in their own lives so that they can be free of the shackles and then start building a life that's in the direction of one that they have designed and not one that has been done to them somehow or that they've allowed to have done to them. So that's one bucket of people. Those people don't necessarily always come to me with a I'm not happy with my job problem. Some of them come with a my relationships are failing and I don't know why. I am exhausted. I have no time in my life. How did I get here? So the common thing is they are dissatisfied with where they are. They want it to be different, but they just have no clue about how to get there. And because of that fog, they just need to clear their path to the life that they really want. They want to rewrite their future. The other camp tends to be in their 50s, where they're starting to think about retirement, and maybe they have kids, maybe they don't, maybe those kids are older, and they're not thinking about retirement to wind down, they're thinking about retirement to crank up in many ways. They want to start playing bigger, they want to give something back. They've had hugely successful careers, and they didn't want to just stop, they've got a lot to give. So the thing that draws those two camps together is that they are unhappy with where they are in their life right now and they're asking, is this it? And really they want to play bigger in their lives. They don't want to keep themselves small anymore, and as comfy as their comfort zone is, they don't want to stay in it anymore. They want to find an exit out. And my job is to open all the doors and the windows at a rate that is opportunistic for them and attractive for them, but not so scary that they want to remain entrenched and stay where they are. So I really hope that helps. I've just had a "your connection is weak" sign come up, so I hope you didn't lose me. But if you are that person that needs more clarity in their life, or you know people that need more clarity in their life, then please let me know. I have got a challenge that is, well, it's more of a coaching program that starts next week. It's just a 3-day experience. And I will be sending notification out of that today. If you are interested, please say yes, please, in the comments below this Facebook Live. And then I will send you the information. So I really hope that this has helped all of those friends that said to me, "What do you do exactly?" I thank you for listening, because the reason I haven't done this regularly is because it's scary. It's really scary. And the reason I haven't ever told anyone when I go live is because it's a lot easier to hide behind a time that no one else is going to be watching. And whilst I've had a couple of people drop in and out today, the beauty of Facebook Live is that it stays on the page and you can watch it at any time. So if you like anything that I've said, please thumbs up. If you love anything I said, or you just love me, heart. And please, please, please share this. I will be talking again at 12 o'clock next Friday, London time. And if you have any questions you would like me to cover in that time, perfect opportunity to again comment below this Facebook Live and just say, you know, I'm struggling with this. What would you do? Or how would you advise a person with this problem? Because otherwise I'm just going to make all the content up and hope that it applies to you. So if you want something in life, you have to ask for it. So if there's something that you need, go ahead and ask. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.